My name is TJ, homie. I was raised on bread and bologna. My mom used to make the most anemic sandwiches. Fuck you, Canadian Fuhrer. Quit being first. It was like bread, one slice of bologna, real light smattering of mayonnaise, one piece of cheese, and then another piece of bread. It's like, man, this sandwich is bullshit. You need more. You need more. More meat, more cheese. Yeah, I was thinking about taking Jay Darkey on as my protege and making him give me half his money in exchange for me making his content more popular. Because I know all the shit that's wrong with him. I've identified his problems. I could fix him. Give him a rim job. Rim job. Really? Yep. I'm gonna fix you, dude. Maybe not half your money, but, you know, you can give me like 30% or some shit as a consulting fee if my shit works, which maybe it won't, but I have ideas for you, Jay. You have natural charisma. You've gathered a little cluster of people around you. Now's the time to expand. Ruthless expansion. You have a channel, Doom Kid? I'll fix it. No problem. I'm a consultant now. I can prevent you from making the mistakes I made. And build my little empire. TJ Midas Kirk. Well, I won't claim to be Midas. I don't have the gold touch, but, you know, maybe I have, like, the bronze touch, at least. Yeah, if anyone's interested, just fucking... I already saw your typo, Jay. Don't hide. But, yeah, if anyone's interested, just, you know, like, anyone who's actually worth a shit, just write me on Twitter or something. We'll figure it out. You like Dank Dungeons? Yeah, I like doing it. It was fun. I don't know if I could do it every month just because I don't want to drink like that every month. But, yeah, I mean, we'll definitely do a follow-up. Maybe it'll be a quarterly thing. I'm working right now. I don't know. I mentioned on here before that I was thinking about doing some nostalgia, or like, not, you know, like a... mid, I don't know what the range would be. Like Nostalgia Critic, not when he first started, but not now either. Kind of in his middle period, like before he went totally skit crazy, but after he'd already worked all the bugs out of his reviews. I was thinking about doing that approach / the JonTron approach / my own approach, like an amalgamation of the three, to taking on some of the worst episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And, you know, like most ideas in my head, I just kind of like, that's a good idea, and then I never do it. But this one just won't leave. So last night, I was up till 6 in the morning writing a script for the first review, and that's complete, or at least a rough draft is complete. I might go back and refine it a little, or I might just shoot it as is. I don't know. I'm going to take a look at it today. But, yeah, I'm going to fucking, I'm taking it on. I chose for my first episode to look at an episode from season 1, which is honestly where most of the really bad episodes are. Season 1, episode 7, Justice. It's going to be good. Yeah, I can understand the no more Star Trek sentiment, because we've definitely done a lot of content along those lines, but this is something I think that you're not really going to need to be a Star Trek fan to like. In fact, if it might appeal to you if you hate Star Trek, because it's all about the things that are wrong with the series, or at least with certain episodes. And I try to write it in such a way where even an uninitiated person who knew nothing about it could still grasp it. No, I don't talk to Ben. I mean, occasionally, if there's some sort of business to discuss, some sort of latent business, then we talk, but that's about it. And even then, it's very formal. No, it's not going to be at all similar to my Darth Vader video. It's going to be a totally different beast. I don't know about that, Dome Kid. I think Data Lore was pretty good. It's not as good as some of the later lore episodes, but it definitely is a good establishment of, you know, Data's got an evil twin, you know. Will it be a public series? Yeah. I'm thinking about simultaneously releasing it on my channel and the Cinema for Cynics channel. Are you doing a Ban and Hope anymore? Yeah, I'm actually about to shoot one today. The full episode's gonna be for patrons only, but I am gonna release clips to my channel. So, yep. TJ, what's your favorite color? Black. Don't tell me it's not a color. It is. Fuck you. Is it gonna be live? I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna do it live or not. I think I probably will for patrons. Recommend any Nostalgia Critic review for a new viewer? I'd go way back to his Tom and Jerry movie review, and it's old and a lot of it's dated by today's standards, but I think it still holds up really well. And I think it's kind of the perfect introduction because it's just one for me where all the jokes land. So I think it's like kind of an ultimate example of his sense of humor, and he really tears that movie to fucking shreds. So. Yeah, the commercial episodes are really nice. I know a lot of people who don't even like Nostalgia Critic who dig the commercial episodes. Yeah, the Good Burger one is great. That's a really fucking funny one. Yeah, dude. I like his retrospectives about like Fox Kids and like the Disney Afternoon and stuff like that too. The Batman and Robin review is great. You get my Streamlab? I don't think so. Streamlabs aren't really a thing on these phone streams. I should probably take those out of the default description for this channel because I don't really do this on my computer anymore. It's just like not as easy. And these streams I feel like work best when you just sit down and do them. You can have Streamlabs on your phone, I believe. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. You should use the Streamlabs phone app. Oh, well, cool. Yeah, I'll look into that. I didn't know. That's pretty cool. All right, yeah. That sounds good then. I had no idea. TJ, are you into lesbian squirt bukkake? I mean, it doesn't sound like I'd be disgusted by it or anything. You have to work in 45 minutes? That sucks. I do too, probably. Of course, my work is going to be tearing apart a bunch of shitty videos on the internet, so I kind of enjoy it. It's nice to have a job you enjoy, even if it is a job that consumes way more of your time than most jobs would. But, you know, whatever. I think it's fun. I'd rather have a job. I mean, I don't know. Would you rather have a job that you could do for 40 hours a week and then you're just done, but it sucks? Or would you rather have a job that consumes like 80 hours a week, but is fun? I don't know. I guess I've chosen the latter. DFF Gale Cord Schuler. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't ever do that, so no. No, I feel bad for Gail, and honestly, I never wanted to cover her. I feel like it was exploitative. She's obviously mentally ill. I don't like putting the spotlight on a mentally ill person and being like, look at how sick they are, look! I feel like that's against my morals. I did it, of course, for the money, because I'm a greedy son of a bitch, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to do that again. I don't really want to get back into that. Couldn't you say the same thing about G-Time Johnny? Yeah. There's a reason I don't do that show anymore. You don't like drinking? I know it's not the best drug, but it's fun if you're bored, plus music sounds way better while drunk. Maybe all that's true, but it gives me a headache, and the repercussions the next day are always awful for me. You know, I know people say drink a bunch of water. I can't. You know, drunk TJ doesn't want water, so... Is Brett Keane mentally ill or just a schmuck? I don't know. Maybe a little column A, a little column B. I've never found that being drunk enhanced music for me, but if some people feel that way, then awesome. If simulation theory is correct, then does that mean they're technically... Oh, shit. I mean, gods do exist? I mean, no. Lord Cat also went after Gale for a similar reason. Okay. What does the cigarette holder help with? Well, there's an additional filter built into it, so that's kind of cool. Sorry, I got disconnected there for a second. I don't know if you guys are with me again, but this thing here prevents me from getting nicotine stains on my fingers. So that's really the main reason I have that. Yes. Okay, we get it, bird. That's good. Oh, you're a blue jay. That's cool. Yeah, it's pretty. Makes you look really debonair. I want to get a wooden one because I already broke one of these because some of the seal melted when I guess some hot ash came into contact with it. So I want to get a wooden one that's not going to do that. I'd be more worried about nicotine stains on my lungs. Well, that's why you have these filters built into it. Oops. You see this? This was white when I started with it, and that was just like yesterday. So you really do see how much shit these cigarettes put into your body. TJ, do you want the human species to die? That's a tough question. Because a lot of times I just look around at the state of things and the state of people and the way they think and the way they argue and the way that they put ideology above truth. Yeah, shut up. You're cute, but you're not cute enough to get away with that. I'm gonna let my cat out. He's gonna come eat you. What was I saying? I don't even remember. How long was I displeased with DP? I don't know. I just, probably like a year and a half before the show ended, I woke up in the middle of the night and I just started feeling really sad about what we were doing. I just felt like it really just hit me like that our show was exploitative to the mentally ill, and I didn't really want to do it anymore. But I kept doing it because there was so much financially entangled with it. It was kind of our main source of revenue at the time. And there were so many people that were dependent on it, not just myself, but Ben and Paul and Scotty. So it was like helping a lot of people out in my circle, but unfortunately I wasn't really proud of the product, so I think that was a moment where I kind of started to drift away from the product. And you notice that I did try to take steps to sort of minimize my role towards the end, but I'm much more happy with the show we're doing now. So I don't know if it'll ever be as popular as Drunken Peasants was at its highlight or its heyday or whatever, but I think we have a much better monetization strategy in place, and I really like the fan base we've built, and it seems like we have a really dedicated following. So I'm much more proud of the product. Yeah, I feel much more comfortable with what we're doing. TJ, can you please stop Paul from deleting the DFF subreddit? That's just a moral panic, is what that is. I don't know if it's a moral panic, but we're just trying to institute a panic. Maybe we will delete it. I don't know. I think it's fun to kind of tease them about it, like to let them know that at any time we could just delete their shit, their little wine box. But I don't know. We probably won't ultimately delete it, but maybe we will. I don't know. It kind of depends. I don't know. It's something we've considered for sure. And the main reason why, a lot of people said, hey, reading criticism in a funny voice is not the same as refuting the criticism. Well, we weren't trying to refute the criticism. We were just mocking it for its over-the-top, ridiculous, melodramatic nature. But it's not really the fact that there's criticism that goes on there that bothers us. It's the fact that when we try to actually go there and address the criticism, we're downvoted into oblivion, even though we're the host of the show. So, and it seems like every time we have a subreddit, it seems like it attracts the most negative fans. And most of our community just views it as like this toxic thing that they don't even want to go to. So I don't know. Why are your fans so whiny? Most of them aren't, is the thing. I mean, like, some of them are. I mean, look, I understand them getting upset about the clips thing because, you know, it was like they were getting a full show and then we kind of had to pull that back. And so they felt like they were getting less. Um, and, you know, to some extent they're right. Although I think that what they're getting now is actually better because it's quality controlled a lot more. You know, the failed segments don't go out there, and the views we get on them now are much better than what we got putting them out as a full episode. So I still stand by the decision, but I do understand why that upset people. And if I were in the fan community, it might have even upset me, but ultimately I think it was a good decision. So I don't really view them as whiny for that. As far as the people on the subreddit go, it just seems like it universally attracts the worst kind of fans. People who are really more interested in trying to destroy the show than anything else. Like, I'll give you an example. We put out our Dank Dungeons and Drunken Dragons thing on our Patreon, and just the comments below are just universally, everyone loved it. There wasn't a single negative comment that I could see. I went through, you know, 2 days worth of comments. Not a single person was like, this sucked. But then you go to the subreddit and people are like, it was awful, guys. Don't bother ever buying that because it's lame. It's like, this is not reflective of the attitude of the people who watched it. Fuck you. This is like you trying to sabotage our efforts. So why are we putting a spotlight on and supporting a community that's trying to be detrimental to what we're creating? Yeah, I just feel like Reddit itself is a shithole. And so people who use Reddit are shit people. I mean, I use it, but I don't participate in the community because the community over there is just shit. And the one time I did participate in the community to any sort of large extent, it was controversial because I ended up telling someone that they should drown in rape semen, which became, you know, everyone got upset for a while, but, you know, whatever. When are humans going to Mars? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to... Let me just make it clear. Like, when... that's, you know, this person here... Let me just read their comment so you guys have context. Nice to hear the real reason for the split. There were many speculations and drama surrounding the split from DP. I love DP, but I'm glad you left the show if you feel like you didn't like doing it anymore. That's not, I mean, like, my moral misgivings about the show were not the main impetus for the show ending. I don't want to make it come across like I made this, like, decision on an ethical basis. That was definitely a catalyst for some of my negative feelings about the show, but it certainly was not the underlying reason why the show ended. So I don't want to give that impression. I guess the show hasn't ended. I mean, it's still going, but why it ended for me. Oh, did I miss a super chat? I'm sorry. Let's see here. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. TJ, I'm a lifetime atheist and fan of your content, but I find Jordan Peterson to be pretty interesting. Not that he's converting me or anything. Am I crazy? I mean, I don't think you're crazy. I don't really view his work of being of much merit. I think that if you were to go and look at, like, Joseph Campbell, or go read some Nietzsche, or go read some of the people that he steals from, you'd find that they're actually present a much more cogent and interesting philosophy than the one that he concocts. You are being manipulated. Cool. Aren't we all? Quiet. Shut up. Did I see Steve Bannon on Bill Maher now? I didn't watch it. I don't really want to look at Steve Bannon or hear him talk. Do I miss living with Paul? Sometimes. I mean, he was a fun friend to have around. You know, he's not always in the most chipper and happy of moods, but a lot of times even his negative moods can be fun because he kind of escapes a lot of time into comedy. You know, which I find to be a very endearing quality in a person. So yeah, Paul and I are just, we're good friends. And you know, I don't have a lot of close friends like Paul, so it's nice to have someone like that that can, you know, have a conversation with you and get where you're coming from, and I can get where he's coming from. And you know, do we always agree on everything? No, we agree on a lot, but you know, when we disagree, it can get pretty heated, as you guys saw on that one episode where we were arguing about Louis C.K. and the Me Too movement. You know, and I think that both of us kind of walked away from that confrontation being like, oh my God, how can, you know, how can they be so dumb? How can they not see what I'm saying? But, you know, I think it's kind of nice to have that capacity to argue, you know, and definitely we could have picked that argument back up and continued exploring it, but we never did for whatever reason. Probably just because we had other things to move on to. Paul seems more emotional than you. Yeah, I think he is. I think we were both getting pretty emotional in that argument, but for the most part, I think Paul is a more in touch with his emotions kind of guy than I am. Orbs of fecal matter. I'm sorry, it's a fact. Damn, Doom Kid, damn. Ever seen Paul naked? I've seen his ass after it was beaten by a dominatrix. But that's about it. Australian money? What about it? Who's your favorite female celebrity? I don't know. It's a good question, but I don't really know. Why did he get his ass beaten by a dominatrix? Because we were doing a game show. I forget if we ended up calling it Wheel of Torture or Wheel of Misfortune or whatever, but the premise of the game was like it was a quiz show, and if you got too many wrong answers, a dominatrix would torture you in the method prescribed by a wheel of torture. And, you know, it was fun. And Paul won. And he got a bunch of money because we had a $5,000 prize raise. He went up against Pimp Monk and Mr. Repsion. And we thought Mr. Repsion might actually be a challenge, but Paul really ran away with it. Unfortunately, Mr. Repsion seemed to not know much about anything. So, overrated episode? No. I think it was a great episode. It was one of my favorites. For the record, TJ, your dad definitely abused you when you were growing up. I don't agree. I've thought about it and contemplated it and looked at it. And do I feel like he demeaned me? Yes. Do I feel like, you know, there was some emotional manipulation? For sure. But do I feel like it rose to the level of abuse? No, I don't. Yeah, I mean, like, we chose categories that I thought people would be strong in. Mr. Repsion didn't know shit about comic books, didn't know shit about Star Wars, didn't know shit about any of the nerd culture stuff that he claims to be infatuated with, so it was very disappointing. Or maybe he's just not good at trivia, you know? I mean, some people, even if they feel like they know the answer, they don't want to say anything because they're afraid. I mean, we even put some Bible stuff in there, which he was raised a Christian. You know, he used to be a Christian YouTuber when he started, and he didn't even know any of that. It's like, I mean, what do you know, dude? But like, maybe he knew the answer sometimes, but didn't want to buzz in because he was too nervous that maybe he was wrong. So, you know, that can happen too. Could just be nerves, but I just thought it was kind of weird that he wasn't more of a competitor. But I've met Repsion on several occasions, and he's a nice guy, and I like him as a person. But I was disappointed with his performance on that show, to be sure, because the suspense was effectively destroyed by the fact that neither Pimp Monk nor him could compete with Paul, because Paul was just running away with the whole contest. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to judge or say that he's ignorant or whatever. I mean, it could have just been a bad series of questions for him, or it could have just been nerves. It could have been he just doesn't perform well under pressure situations. There's lots of other explanations other than just he's dumb. Because, I mean, I've held conversations with him, and he seems like a reasonably intelligent person. So I don't want to... Yeah. The problem was Pimp Monk and Repsion were too scared to get tortured. Maybe. But they shouldn't have agreed to be on a torture show then. TJ, why is the public so obsessed with trivial issues and not the important ones? I don't really know if important is a useful concept, but... people are definitely distracted by trivialities rather than things that will actually affect them, and I couldn't tell you the reason why. Maybe it's just easier to digest. Based on what you've said over the years, is it weird that I think your dad sounded like a cool guy? He seemed like a socially dominant sort of wheeling and dealing and intelligent guy. That's exactly what he was. My dad was fiercely intelligent, extremely socially dominant, like more so than any other person I've ever met in my life. Had a natural ability to control people. He was a natural leader. Definitely had some antisocial personality traits. I don't view him as a great example of moral virtue or anything like that, but he was definitely a tough cookie. So I hear my doorbell ringing, so let's see who's here. Let's find out who's here. Someone's here. Who could it be? Let's find out. Here comes Mr. Bill's dog. Who is it, Sal? Up, your mom's home. Hey, baby.
Hey.
I'm streaming.
Do you think you could grab some of the stuff out of the car?
I guess so.
Oh, you're streaming? Never mind, I'll get it.
No, I can get it.
He was just working. He's got a live audience. Nothing. Messing with them hates that.
Richie J. Guevara. Thank you guys for joining me here. But I'm going to get going, work on a few things, eat some lunch, that kind of shit. So I will see you faggots later. Thank you for watching. Peace out.